Players in our Washington Union groups, the agency, like Derek Rose, Anthony Randolph, my brother, and we've just been doing a lot of shooting, drills, lifting, and we're getting some yoga too. It's been good.
What skill have you been emphasizing the most?
I've really just been working on shooting, I guess. Just trying to get better at that, and polish the jumper up before I go to work and stuff like that.
Have you set up any dates yet?
I'm going to Minnesota right after this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you think you belong? Do you belong higher, lower than, let's say, for example, Beasley and Rose? Does it even matter?
No, I haven't really focused on that. I only have a certain amount of power as deciding where I'm chosen, and after that, it's up to whoever the GM is or whatever for that team. And so I'm just really focused on working on my own game and getting better as a player.
Is there anything you're looking to show in workouts and maybe you weren't able to show us now?
I'd like to show a bit more of my inside-out game. We were really going for footwork at Stanford. It was hard for that. It was difficult for players to D me up in the post, so that was a strength of ours. So we just pounded and blocked. But I really feel like I can play both the 4 or 5 position. So I guess we'll just see how that works out.
You mentioned Minnesota before. How do you feel about the team, the situation, playing with Al Jefferson?
I'd really like to play with Al Jefferson. He's a great player, and I definitely he looks like he'll be a superstar in a couple of years, and I definitely like to go in there and do whatever's necessary to help that team, and help them win games or stuff like that.
Miami seems like they really need a center. What are your thoughts on what they have down there in Miami and how you'd fit in there?
I'd really like, to work on my defense ability, and help anchor their defense. So guards can really, give me a guys.
Having Dwayne Wade around, I guess, probably wouldn't hurt too much either.
Yeah, so I'm not really worried about offense too much. That comes, you'll get your looks, but when you have guys like D Wade and Marion, I'm just really focusing on other parts of the game that I can contribute. The other guys might not be able to.
Have you ever visited Miami, and what are your thoughts about the city?
I haven't really visited Miami, so I don't know. And I've heard it's a nice place, so I wouldn't mind living there if that were to happen. I'm scheduled to visit Minnesota. Is actually on the schedule. That's right after Orlando, and then Seattle will happen in the future.
Do you think about Memphis and all that? Probably saw a lot of front court help.
Right, yeah. If I were to go there, I'd definitely, I'd pretty much be looking to give the same thing that I am everywhere else. Just go in there and do whatever they need me to do, and play hard in the front court. Pound down low and play defense.
What type of player do you see yourself being 5 years down the road?
Just a guy, not really, one of those. I guess guys that stands out. Not to compare myself to Tim Duncan, but he's not really flashy. Just a guy who goes in there and does what's required of him and does what's asked of him.
Is that a player you've tried to model your game after, or is there anyone else you have?
Definitely Tim Duncan. I think, yeah.
When are you going to Minnesota?
I'm going to Minnesota whenever the Suns. I think Sunday. I fly out.
How do you feel about cold weather?
I lived in Washington for a year, so that's about as cold as it got, but nothing compared to what it gets there in Minneapolis.